This is a DLC called Terrormania for Rage 2. It's a very fun DLC, but very, very hard. It is a whole lot of shit. It has a whole lot of shit. I was constantly... Okay. From now on, whenever I make a stream and stuff like that, I'm going to be checking to make sure that my mic is active, my mic is working, and that the stream is working, which is why I was saying what I was saying in the beginning. Why is that still marked? Okay. Well, I'm guessing I'm going to this one. But this DLC is very hard. It has a whole lot of shit in it, and it is onslaught after onslaught after onslaught. Each one of these towers, you have to kill everything around, climb up, get in, and then on the inside, it is a metric fuck ton of enemies that you have to kill to then kill a boss, rinse, repeat until it's done. I think some of them are different here and there, but overall, this game, or this DLC, is an onslaught. And I'm not even max upgraded. And I say that because this game has a fuck ton of upgrades. That these all require weapon mods, or weapon parts to upgrade them. These all require Feltrite or Nanotrite boosters to be able to upgrade, on top of Feltrite to be able to upgrade them to that point to be able to upgrade them. Like, there is upgrades on upgrades on upgrades, but each upgrade is incredibly handy. And this game is old. I'm just going to completely say that. This game is pretty old, but this game is a old beaut. It has so much fun. It has so much replayability, relatively speaking, because of the combat. The combat is why I like playing it. I actually have a save that is Prestige 3, which means I have beaten the campaign, New Game Plus, beaten the campaign again, New Game Plus, and I'm on my third playthrough of that. But I'm wanting to redo it all, unlocking everything, so I'm playing its own save. I'm going to be prestiging this a whole lot because I genuinely just like the campaign, or like the combat. The campaign's a little iffy. The entire thing feels like a spin-off. It doesn't feel like the original IP of Rage, because so many different things that Feltrite does, or Nanotrite does in this, Nanotrite never even could dream of doing in Rage 1. Rage 1 was more like Doom, boots on the ground, but this is still very fun. Like I said multiple times, the combat is just beautiful. It is some of the best combat I have ever played. And coming from a lot of different games, because I have played a lot of different games, that's saying something. Now, the enemies are bullet sponges in this, so it's not the greatest if you don't like that. But they are very fun to fight because, like, if you shoot the head, easy to pop them. Different weapons have different amounts of damage, so, like, if you want to pop them fast, use, like, a rocket launcher, shotgun, something like that. You can play around the strength and weaknesses of this. With that, I need to shut up because I cannot play well and talk. I'm gonna save my ammo for when I get up. I should not have saved my ammo for. That is all Nanotrite could have done in Rage 1, is just revive you. But Rage 1, it was called defibrillation. But it was not defibrillation. It was a lie calling it that. It could resurrect you from jibbing. You could be a puddle on the ground, and the defibrillation would still bring you back. It was busted. But in this, you can't technically get jibbed, so. Where did the original, like, why did jibbing become a thing? Like, the word itself. I know why jibbing was a thing. Quake 1, I believe, introduced it in its PvP. Where you could telefrag, you could use rocket launchers, and just absolutely annihilate the enemy. But I don't know why it's called jibbing. Genuinely wonder. There's a big one. The best thing about this DLC is that every enemy is a confetti of Feltrite, and Feltrite is how you heal. Or you can use a healing booster or a up on D-pad. I forget exactly what they're called, like health infuser, something like that. Which is very handy in the middle of combat, but because these guys are just confetti when it comes to Feltrite, it is incredibly handy just to kill them. And in the game, every enemy except for mutants drop Feltrite, but not in this overabundance. And a little bit of the story of why I'm using a sword, having to climb the floaty towers and stuff, is this is a alternate dimension on the Rage universe. It is basically the land of the dead. And that is basically the entire story. The Necro Disc, which is a record that plays music, was spun backwards and opened a portal. Don't know why it was spun backwards to open the portal and not just played in general. Okay, saying that because I love thinking about things. It's because of what unlife is. It is the reverse of life. Playing it forward, it like generates life or something. It's constant flow of life, constant good. Playing it backwards, you're reverting life. You're going into death. I think there is no basis on that. That's just a cool idea. And part of playing games is being able to think of the cool ideas. Some of the best games are not like in your face with the lore. Okay, this is part of an ecopod, a pod sent up in space to land down whenever humanity could come back up. Okay. The lore of Rage. Rage 1, you are an archist. You came out of the Ark, which are, there's like hundreds of them, that went underground because there was I think it was called Apophis, which brought Feltrite to Earth. Apophis was a massive meteor that hit Earth and literally shook it to its core, broke entire sections, like it completely destroyed it. Which is why the Arks were sent deep underground to survive it. Excuse me, had it up there. Said arcs, when they drove in deep, had a failsafe to be brought back, but no one wanted to do that because the people in power were the authority. The authority were mad scientists. Basically, think if Umbrella, the company Umbrella, could just have everything. Or Umbrella Corporation, there we go. Umbrella Corporation from Resident Evil could just have everything, could conquer everything. But instead of using just biology, they used a lot more technology. And they did mix the two to have mutants that they could control, stuff like that. And they controlled basically everything in Rage, or a good chunk of civilization. They control a city, a couple things here and there. Rage 1, you fight them, you fight a lot of other enemies, including the Ghost, which that DLC is the only DLC or the only way you're fighting the Ghost in this game. But you fight alternative enemies, making your way towards the ability to call back up all the arcs. And that is the end of the game, Rage 1. Rage 2 kicks off a long time after that, where you are a second generation archist, which you have Feltrite or nanotrite in your DNA, and technically kind of in your DNA, in your bloodstream, to allow you to do all the things you can do. No other person can do what you do because of the nanotrites. Now, all the arcs did not have all this crazy shit when it came to abilities and shit from Rage 1. Because there only was one arc, but I don't think all the arcs were meant to have all these things because of how Rage 1 worked. It was meant to be basically a next generation of humanity, not super soldiers. But in Rage 1, they only talked about the arcs, not the ecopods. But technically, they would have been in orbit and crashed down after all the arcs came up. That brought life back to the Earth, which was like bamboo, which is a beautiful and horrible idea because bamboo is a massive weed. It grows and grows and grows. It doesn't give a shit. But bamboo, also different plant life that was brought back down from orbit because they're basically plant arcs instead of people arcs. And that is what this is, but that was in the physical dimension, not this weird place. So I wonder if they still technically exist, or if this is truly a mirror world. Because it is the Twilight. That's what Muggle called it. So this world could actually be the half and half, the in between of life and death, literally.
Got eyes on a bone tower.
And now to the actual hard part. The reason why I didn't shoot a single gun there.
Okay, all right, here we go. This is actually pretty awesome.
This brings me back like wisps of smoke. The memories appear and dissipate. Onward! The necro discharge must be found.
Hell yeah, Guardian 1. Shit. The beauty about infinitely spawning enemies is that I can get my rage, or not rage, my overcharge a hell of a lot. Overdrive, not overcharge.
Great. Wondering when something like this would show up.
That got a little hairy.
You fight well, but imminent skeleton invasion is yet an ever-present threat. More shards await. Rest not.
I am getting a metric fuck ton of Feltrite. Wonder what the overcharge or overdrive does for this. Guessing there's more damage. Because some of them do actually change the gun fundamentally, like the pulse cannon, which is why I use that whenever I use overdrive, has no heat and is always at max heat to do max damage. Because when it is heating up, it is doing more damage. That is just instant explosion instead of having to shoot them, then detonate them. Uh, that, like how you lock on versus hipfire, it's always a lock on. Or not always the lock on, but that volley of rocket instead of one rocket when you hit fire. That massive damage, and that massive damage. A couple other things here and there.
There! A boom tower! A shard resides within!
Alright, let's see where this one goes.
Ah, good. You made it through. Now, find the Necrodish shards and let us be on our way.
Don't like how split up these guys are. I am glad there was a ledge here. Okay. don't like how far they are. This game has a combo meter because if you get a high enough combo, you're able to get the overdrive faster and faster and faster. And it also heals you. This game is designed around not close quarters, but bunched up enemies. But because they're so far apart, that's not something you can really do. At least in this one. The only real downside to this game is every single time you interact with the log tab, it slows it down and loads every log you have. Which I think is just an optimization error or problem. But overall, it's not that bad.
Aren't you supposed to be in a Saturday morning cartoon somewhere?
Did not mean to shoot both of those. Shit.
All right. Okay, one down. More shards to go.
There's only one place you can buy BFG ammo, which sucks. But I am going to go buy that because that is my ace in the hole, like you just saw. And part of the reason why I love that DLC is because you're able to use it as... Okay, the boxes that you see, you have to melee or shoot. I actually really like using this blade as a way to break the boxes and just a good run around because of the animation. Instead of that animation, base is this animation. And I personally prefer holding the sword above than holding the hand up. It's just personal preference.
Good luck. Let me cover your killing needs, Ranger.
And she is the only person that sells those. Gonna go see if I can actually get a player upgrade.
Swipe right. I trust you have the raw
Can't.
materials
Okay.
I need.
With all that said, shown and done, I hope you all enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you on the next one.